Today we start our episodes with channeled guidance for the new moon. We also have a solar eclipse, and this is for the 5D collective. 5D collective is a bunch of different people, mystics and not, who are self-aware, self-reflective. So they do emotional awareness, accountability, and self-regulation while they're interacting with other individuals. In fact, spirituality, spiritual and human elements, we bring them all together here, which is why 5D mystic in the Enlightenment soul age group, functional adult, woo-woo, pseudoscience, because, we respect those who don't believe in mysticism. It's cool. And the pseudoscience, because, we're integrating different topics. And I'm not in the research lab somewhere. But the information, for example, on attachment and trauma, that comes from people who are in those research labs. So it's kind of like the flat earthers. When people say, no, behavior, it has to be pathologized versus understanding it. Thank you, Janina Fisher, which is you have implicit memory, so do I. The first 3 years of your life, all implicit, then explicit build. And that implicit memory actually drives in a certain way your behavior. Yes. And this is the part where I'm not doing the psych education, just explaining self-awareness, self-reflection, emotional. Let me work on my 3-year-old tone. Let me work on my teenager tone, and let me know how to become the restorative embodiment of myself. This is you being able to be yourself. Thank you, Mother. I didn't lose that because my 3-year-old never got frightened. So magic works through my quirkiness. And also, I could be as ugly as a cockroach and still be unconditionally loved. So when you know that you are unconditionally loved, that you can be imperfect, but that you're part of a herd, you share, thank you, twin. And then obviously all humanity, you learn how to be a restorative embodied self, very easily differentiated. Also, you stay very quirky and fun. So here are the qualities of a restorative embodied person. Okay, so 1, you're able to be in the present moment without the need for explanation or judgment, and you're filled with feelings like awe, grace, connection, peace, beauty, love, and oneness. And that's our 5D. But in order for you to be here loving all humanity versus what we hear, I don't trust people, I don't trust men, I don't trust women. So those people are not part of the human love narrative. They're part of the human suffering love narrative, and that's unfortunately called their survival nervous system mode. But see, when people are living what is the shame cycle, it's a heartbroken 1-year-old and 3-year-old, no attachment or trauma information, not taking it seriously to go here and understand it with a good therapist. EMDR, child parts work, and also somatics, because your body, divine feminine, your mind, divine masculine, for your own self. Okay, so the 5D person will be open to self-awareness and self-reflection because they want to have their herd grow one way, shape, or form. They're not, in fact, a solo self in the absence of being aware of others. That's why they're actually spirituality and not what are the 4D spiritual bypassers. They haven't yet seen that they have unfinished business. Their behavior are charges from their unresolved trauma. It's a maladaptive child behavior as a grown-up, and so they go around with that teenager, I call it attitude, and you see them in storyland. Now here's why woo-woo lady is okay with woo-woo. Let me read to you the card. Where are you? Akash. Merkaba, because every one of us is a little piece of star. Okay, we don't need to use light or dark, but today, and just in the past months, about 6 months at least, the 5D collective has been organically, because this just happens, removing, quote unquote, the energies from the past lives. I've had a couple downloads and more. This is why this is channeled guidance. You won't need to be aware of any of it because that's not necessary. It's done. It's finished its cycle. And that's the beauty of life and a divine feminine that knows how life is infinite. But also it's thanks to divine masculine that a divine feminine understands with less heartbreak, human suffering, love narrative people. Because see, when they choose fear, they know what they're doing. When you have your ability to conceptualize, did I just react or did I respond? Did I include somebody else? Did I pay attention to their emotions? Did I pay attention to my emotions? This is what it's called to be self-aware. So a 5D person is not going to be selfish in the way that we see the teenagers that are Cuscos who think they're not selfish. We all can be selfish. When I ask of your time, I'm being selfish. But the difference is if you tell me you're upset at me, I am going to care enough to try and have a conversation. That's a functional adult. That's a person who's 5D. So they're open to their third eye because they're like, okay, my prefrontal cortex, I know something happened here, but let me figure out, let me work with you. And when we figure out if it's projection, that's the minute that whether you're divine masculine or divine feminine, you're going to handle yourself with composure, because a functional adult knows how to handle a child. Emotional children are those who have maladaptive child behavior. So their shame cycle 1 is a routine of inner critic, outer critic, which a person who is able to use this will notice. As a teenager, I noticed all these people whining about people breaking up and then saying they don't deserve love. And like, what are you talking about? That's ridiculous. You were with them just 2 minutes ago. You're just upset. No, I'm not. Yet, yes, you are. So, okay. When you can have, did I read it? I don't remember if I read it. The frequency of Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experiences into our present to serve our highest purpose. You serve your highest purpose when you delight in yourself, when you can alchemize you and have synergy. And these are beautiful traits that the 5D collective are definitely able to root in right now. And they're rooting it in because of learning what actual conscious lovers are like. So romantic lovers, universal love, and passion. That's because of the transformation. But again, with self-awareness, self-reflection, and meeting people who are, by the way, healthy self-worth people. You cannot actually see the complementary energies of masculine or feminine if you don't at least have one human being that you will know of as opposite. So I have a lovely divine masculine that I get to really, really see that complementary that any divine feminine will know, because my eyes can only look at your inner child. I can't see anything else except for what is your full potential. While a masculine is going to look at everything outside, and if something doesn't fit, okay, that's not fitting over there, that's not, collaborating. So again, it breaks it down, and here's the logic of why that's not going to work. And the heart needs to hear the logic, because obviously this is where alignment. Every word you utter, every action you take, your very existence. Is it for everyone's well-being, or is it just about you? Just fix this one thing to determine the nature of your life. This is Sadhguru. And Sadhguru doesn't know about, our lovely integration of the brain, but I do. So we're going to get to that in a minute. But what I love that he does share, which I as a divine feminine know, your contribution to the world is you, how you live, how joyful you are. Everything has an impact. So you have an impact and I have an impact, which is why if you're not, though, a restorative embodiment of yourself, so you don't focus on the body as a resource to support and reinforce the internal sense of self-agency and resiliency, you're going to be in a modulated embodied self, which is your sympathetic. And that's where people who are 4D think that because they have clairs and they channel, that they actually are here to save something. Planet doesn't need saving, my lovely mystics, and anyone who's tuning in. What I'm getting to on this lovely new moon is 1, recalibration. The 5D collective are always going to be people who are open to bringing forth growing relationships. So luckily for us, the 5D educators are enough to where we can understand that if your maladaptive child behavior comes my way, I can learn how to speak to you and consistently do that. And so the part of our humanity, as again, our lovely Sadhguru, if you overflow with your humanity, then divinity has to descend. So we move beyond spirituality in a way of the belief, but the concept stays, as well as, by the way, the relationship with this space, which is why channeling, and I'm different type of channeler than the 4D because I'm not a 4D person. And that's because I know, as I was saying, that everything has this way of balancing itself out. So you don't have to actually live in the mind's eye, although it's beautiful when you get to have Akashic downloads. Spirituality, a way of living with meaning and connection beyond the solo self. We are a herd, and like Diego, Manny, and Sid work together, and then we got Pacha with Cuscos and squirrels, we get to bring secure attachment figures, healthy self-worth people, grow love, and we help each other to know, okay, if you're going to choose suffering and fear, then you can, scurry off and do your thing with other people. If you want to grow a herd and do things so that we can become productive, there's where 5D is at. So tune in for more. We talk about a lot of personal development and just life topics and stories. Have a great day.